Welcome back. Today, we've got an incredibly practical explainer lined up for you. We are diving exclusively into Part 15 of the massive 20-part tutorial Guide to Modern Network Routing Protocols. This whole series comes to us from Virtualization Options LLC, a fantastic Colorado-based technology, research, education, and advisory organization. Now, Chapter 15 is an absolute goldmine. We are stripping away the complex command line syntax and focusing entirely on the core architectural concepts you actually need to manage networks today. Let's get right into it.
Here is what we're covering from the chapter today. First, why routing protocols actually matter. Second, the core concepts you absolutely must know. Third, internal routing with IGPs. Fourth, external routing and understanding BGP. And finally, how to choose the exact right protocol for your environment.
Starting off with Section 1, why routing protocols matter. Imagine a packet arriving at a router. That router has to decide in a fraction of a millisecond which interface to send it out of. If you don't have a dynamic routing protocol, a network administrator literally has to sit there and manually type every single destination network into every single router. We call this static routing. Now, static routes are totally fine for what we call stub networks. Think of a small office with just one single connection out to the internet. But the second a link goes down or you add a new subnet, static routing completely breaks. Dynamic routing is the game changer here. It automates this entire exchange of information, recalculates paths instantly when things fail, and scales effortlessly to thousands of routers.
But you can't just pick any dynamic protocol and call it a day. The cost of making the wrong choice for your specific network is huge. Say you deploy an older protocol like RIP on a 50-router enterprise network. You could be waiting up to 3 agonizing minutes for the network to reconnect after a failure. And let's be real, in a modern enterprise, 3 minutes of downtime is an absolute eternity. On the flip side, if you try to deploy a massive protocol like BGP inside a simple small office, you are just introducing unnecessary complexity that your IT team probably can't even support. It's all about matching the right tool to the right job.
Moving right along to Section 2, core concepts you must know.
First up is the autonomous system, or AS. The internet isn't just one giant, chaotic mesh of routers. It's actually divided into logical borders. An autonomous system is simply a collection of IP networks and routers under the control of a single organization that presents a common routing policy to the internet. Think of it like a sovereign networking nation. To give you some real-world perspective on this, every one of these nations gets a unique autonomous system number assigned to it. For example, AS 1569, that is Google's primary routing empire. Comcast operates AS 7922. Understanding these borders is absolutely crucial because some routing protocols are designed strictly to operate inside an AS, while others are built entirely to negotiate traffic between them.
Our next core concept is convergence. When a link fails or a new route is suddenly added, convergence is the process where all the routers talk to each other to reach a consistent, accurate view of the new network layout. While this is happening, traffic might be dropped. This is exactly why speed matters so much. A protocol like OSPF can converge in literally sub-seconds, whereas RIP can leave you totally offline for minutes while it slowly figures things out.
Finally, we have the metric. When a protocol finds multiple different paths to reach the exact same destination, the metric is the value it uses to rank them and pick the winner. The really interesting part here is that different protocols measure this best path in completely different ways. One protocol might just count the number of routers in the way, while another looks at the actual physical bandwidth speed of the cables.
All right, Section 3, internal routing, and the IGPs. There is a phrase that perfectly describes our first category, distance vector protocols, and it's this: routing by rumor. Routers running older protocols only know what their directly connected neighbors tell them. They don't have a map of the whole network at all. Imagine trying to drive across the country, but you have no map, no GPS, and your only strategy is rolling down your window at every single intersection to ask the person next to you for directions. That is exactly how a distance vector protocol works. Let's put these IGPs side by side to really lock in the differences. RIP is simple but very limited. Its metric is purely hop count, and it maxes out at 15 hops. Anything 16 hops away is considered dead. Then you have OSPF, which is a link state protocol. Instead of rumors, OSPF builds a complete mathematical map of the network and uses cost, which is based on bandwidth, as its metric. It is perfect for large enterprises. Then there's EIGRP, Cisco's hybrid protocol, which is insanely fast because it factors in both bandwidth and delay. And finally, ISIS. This is another link state protocol, but it's heavily preferred by massive internet service providers because it is incredibly scalable.
To make this super concrete, let's look at two practical examples from the chapter. Imagine a hospital network with 5 campuses. They can route all their internal traffic beautifully just using OSPF. At their network edge, they just use a simple static default route pointing out to their ISP. Easy. But compare that to a large university. They also use OSPF internally across their buildings, but because they have their own AS number and need serious redundancy, they connect to 2 different ISPs. This is exactly where internal routing ends and external routing has to step in.
Which brings us nicely to Section 4, External Routing and Understanding BGP.
To really grasp the sheer scale of the Border Gateway Protocol, or BGP, consider this staggering number, over 900,000. That is the number of IPv4 prefixes currently sitting in the full Internet routing table. Every single packet that crosses an organizational boundary on the Internet, like from your device right now to a server in another country, relies on BGP to make that global connection possible.
Unlike OSPF, which builds a map, or RIP, which counts hops, BGP is a path vector protocol. It literally tracks the exact sequence of organizations, the AS path, that a route has traveled through. So a route might say, hey, I went through ASA, then ASB to get to ASC. This completely prevents loops, because if a router sees its own AS number in the path, it instantly drops the route. More importantly, this allows network engineers to enforce strict business policies. For example, you can purposefully avoid routing your traffic through a competitor's network. BGP prioritizes total stability and policy over raw speed. To deploy BGP properly, we have to understand its 2 distinct flavors. eBGP, or external BGP, happens between routers in completely different autonomous systems. This is how you connect to AWS or your internet service provider. These routers are typically directly connected physically. On the other hand, iBGP, or internal BGP, creates sessions between routers within the exact same autonomous system. And the rules for how they advertise routes to each other change drastically depending on whether that session is internal or external.
Finally, Section 5, Choosing the Right Protocol.
The guide gives us an awesome framework here. Ask yourself these 4 specific questions to make the right choice. Step 1. How large is your network? If you have fewer than 15 hops, maybe RIP works, but a huge enterprise definitely needs OSPF. Step 2. Assess your vendor mix. Are you purely running Cisco hardware? If so, EIGRP is a powerhouse. But if you have a mix of Cisco, Juniper, and Arista, you absolutely must use an open standard like OSPF. Step 3. Define your failover speed needs. Do you need sub-second recovery for highly sensitive apps? If so, you need advanced protocols. Step 4. Evaluate your internet connectivity. Are you multi-homed to different ISPs? If you are, you're going to need BGP. So this matrix right here is basically your definitive cheat sheet. If you have a tiny network with just a few routers, static routes or RIP will totally suffice. For standard mixed vendor enterprises up to around 500 routers, OSPF is your gold standard. If you are a Cisco exclusive shop, EIGRP is going to give you incredible performance. The moment you are multi-home to the internet, you are graduating to BGP. And if you happen to be building an ISP backbone with hundreds or thousands of routers, ISIS is definitely the tool for the job. Which brings us to the end of our explainer on Chapter 15. I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative question. Is your network currently running the protocol it actually needs to thrive today, or is it just running the one it inherited from some engineer 5 years ago? Understanding these concepts is the very first step in taking control of your infrastructure's destiny. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.